Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, everybody.
Sergio.
Los locos kick your ass. Los locos kick your face. Los locos kick your balls into outer space. That has nothing to do. Has nothing to do with my presentation. I just always really wanted to do that. I love Johnny 5. It's the best thing ever. Thank you, number 25. I did it. I'm Sergio. I love sketching. I live my life through sketching. I see everything through sketching. It is my blanket. It is my security blanket. It's my way to get away from people. It is my girlfriend, my lover, my hater. I see everything through it. That's actually a high gravity beer right there in my pants. It's all good. Drawing takes many different ways, and when you look at something for too long, you start saying different things. I want you guys to look at this picture here and see if you see anything out of the ordinary besides it being a bowl of fog. All right, you got 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, there's people making out. Drawing is beautiful, and then the more you do it, the more you see, and it's actually very contagious. Zombies, right? Yeah, it's super contagious. Be careful. Try it out. Being creative, being around people that you love, and doing things that you like to do are very contagious, and you really don't have to interact with that much with other people. And it's also a form of superpower. Man, Jim Lee. This is Jim Lee's picture of X-Men cover number, I think it was like X-Men number 5. I drew it when I was like in middle school. It took me like a day to draw it. It took me 10 minutes to draw the other day. My powers are getting better and better. So I'm like, how do I use my powers? Ta-da, welcome to Chinatown. This is where I live. Okay, and this is the view from my window. Whoa, Chinatown, what can I do with my power to do something good? You know? So I was like, okay, well, I did the global health conference thing, and I talked about health and art, so I was like, well, I'm just going to go outside and draw homeless people and see what happens. So I'm drawing this guy, right? Okay, he's texting somebody like on an iPhone and shit, you know, it's like, oh wow, okay, that's okay. I drew him, he had no problems with it. I like his reaction. I showed him the drawing, and I could see in his face that there was a little quivering when he saw himself reflected on that mirror, and he knew that he has changed, right? Okay, you got Smeagol, right? And you got the old Gollum guy. Okay, one guy's sweet, one guy's not. He's a freak. This is the most beautiful way to like philosophize our life through fiction and movies, music, writing. For example, this is the reality of that change. I, by accident, happened to come into this picture, and I put it on first. I drew it. Okay, and I wanted you to look at this. This is a picture of a happy woman, right? She looks pretty stoked. Like she's got a house, she's got steps, she's got a platoon. This is her again, like maybe 10 years after. She's a homeless person. She is called, I called her Miss Chinatown just to protect her name. She lives in my neighborhood. I started drawing her just to see if I can make any reaction, any kind of positive thing into her life. Very difficult. This woman sleeps every day. So I moved on, and I found this other guy. I called this guy Marlboro guy, and I was thinking, well, you know, some creativity in homeless people would be really good. And I looked at this guy. I was like, this guy really likes red. He smokes Marlboros. I don't know how he tastes for him. He's got everything's red. And I was like, hey man, you like the color red? No answer. He didn't give me his name, but he was stoked about me drawing him. So it was okay. I moved on, and now I'm here at the museum, right? These guys are on their iPhones and laptops. This is a reclining chair, and I guess that is a bookcase. Okay? Yeah, and the lady is over there on the, I don't know, PlayStation 3 or something. And they're right across the museum. I was really confused about, what does this mean? Like, how can I help? I get good reactions, but I don't know. So I met this guy, and I was like, is there creativity in homeless people? So this guy was kind of like, he saw me, he was posing there, and I was like, okay, he looks like he's performing. He knows I'm drawing him, but he's totally ignoring me. 5 seconds before I finish my drawing, he gets up and he chases me with his boot. So I was like, okay, I'm turning to the sleeping guys. These guys are asleep, so I was doing it. I don't bother anybody, they're passed out. I'm drawing this guy. I'm really, you know, I see him now every time that I go to get my coffee or whatever, and now I know him. I know him in a different way because I drew him. And I started to feel like maybe there's something that I can do just by drawing people. And so I started drawing more people that were asleep. They're totally like oblivious of me being there and just and I'm not really exploring them in any sense, but I'm just like observing and see if there's anything that could be contagious of some sort. Because I was saying like art and creativity is contagious. So as long as you do it around people, you don't have to introduce yourself. You don't have to do anything. You just have to do it. Okay, but then I was like, I'm kind of like Diane Arbus. I don't know if you're a familiar photographer in 1940s who's like a popular photographer for freaks. Like she took photographs of like weirdos and shit like that. So I was like, okay, this guy's got a, can't really tell, but he's got a really bad gash in his arm and his leg. It's like bleeding. So I was like drawing him. Okay, he wakes up after I draw him and he's like, whoa, dude, I just fell. I like wiped out. Thanks for waking me up. I was like, I didn't do anything. Okay, I walked on, moved on, met this guy. Okay, I called this guy Bebop. Okay, from Cowboy Bebop. He's my friend now. Actually, I caught him like crossing the street. He's waiting for the light. I drew him. I talked to him. He's totally stoked about what I was doing. He was excited. I was like, oh man, I really like your attitude. You still have like that creativity, like the right side of your brain still on. Unlike my other friend, Tony Hawk. I call him Tony Hawk because he says Tony Hawk every time I go by him. I don't ride skateboards. I like skateboards. But he calls me Tony Hawk, and he's there, and so I drew him. And I was like, holy cow, it's like, I wish that you were like really changing because it's not really working out for you. Because homelessness sometimes is a choice. Like this girl here, she's just kind of chilling there, you know? It's like, these are my dogs, I'm having a good time. I actually don't need anything else. It's a confusing factor to try to, but I like what you're doing, you know, you're drawing me, you're making me feel like I'm a part of a subject or whatever. Oh, it's over already. Okay, so after that, I was like, wow, I love Steve Jobs. And I'm going to put a moleskin sketchbook in his hand instead of an iPhone 6. And I know, I love this guy. And the famous quote of Steve Jobs, okay, creativity is just connecting things. Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Thank you to Sergio. And our next presenter